Well, hello. How are you? It's me. And it is the end of the weekend for me. Well, I guess it's kind of, it's Monday now, so it was, I don't care how long your weekend is, it's just never long enough. A weekend could be 7 days, and it still wouldn't be long enough. That's my personal philosophy. So anyway, yeah, this weekend I was supposed to have gone out with my friends on Friday night. Didn't do it. Was supposed to go to a all-day workshop at CDIA on Saturday. Didn't go. And then I was supposed to go up to North Conway for this kind of Irish festival, Festivus. I don't know, whatever. And I didn't make it. You know, it kind of seems like I didn't do anything this weekend, which I don't know. Some ways you look at it, I might not have. But, I did get some things done. Maybe not as much as I like, but I'm starting to think that I put too much pressure on myself to get a lot of things done, which may be out of realism, as far as accomplishments or tasks accomplished. Oh, I'm just babbling. I just kind of wish I would have got more done, but I always do, and I always wish the weekend was longer, so it just all kind of ties together. But anyway, it wasn't a total lost weekend. I mean, got some new information. I was looking at new cameras. There was a new camera released, actually. I think it was just this weekend. It was either Friday or Saturday or something. It's a Canon. One of the industry standards for filming with DSLR is a 5D. And the current one was a Mark II, a 5D Mark II, and they just released a Mark III. So I had been, I talked a little bit about that with my business partner because we were thinking about new cameras, but it occurred to me, I had thought about it quite a bit, and there's really nothing on this new camera that's going to help anybody make a better film. I think it's going to help in picture quality in some ways, but really not enough to justify getting a new camera. I mean, you could film a real bad story on a good camera, and it's just not going to be watchable. So the theory is that I could probably use what I have and make some very good videos as long as the stories are good. I wish my stories were good because maybe some people would watch them. Well, some people watch them, so I'm appreciative of that. But anyway, so yeah, I was thinking about this new camera, and I was looking at the last footage that I actually shot yesterday, and this is a good lesson because not only did I not focus my camera after I had moved it into place, but I also didn't check my card, my SD card that I popped into the H4n over there to record the vocals, because I didn't get a vocal recording. So I had to use what was captured by the camera, which was shittier, and it was out of focus. So a lesson to always double check everything. I hope I realized that. And speaking of movies, I was watching. I watched The Ninth Gate yesterday. It's a Johnny Depp movie, and it was directed by. When it comes to names, I just cannot remember right off the top of my head. It's like I got to dig for him somewhere. Roman Polanski, that's who it was. And I've been analyzing more and more as I see more. And I'm paying attention to different directors' styles and the cuts. I guess I'll say the editorial choices and the editing choices, the directorial choices. I'm starting to see a certain, like a personality with all these directors. I definitely see, it's not just a personality, it's a sense of humor. The sense of humor, because, when I look at the way Spielberg uses humor, and then I watch him in a kind of like a director's commentary, I can see it. I can see his personality and his sense of humor coming out in these movies. And I'm starting to think that some of these directors, I mean, I've watched a lot of other movies too, where I think they don't really have such a good sense of humor, and it's showing in their film. And I think their personality is showing in the film. That's why I think when you got a good movie and it was directed by somebody who has a name, I really do think it's a lot of them, a lot of who they are that's in this film, personality, sense of humor. But The Ninth Gate was just another example, and some of the things that I learned by listening to Roman Polanski there was he really doesn't go for a lot of dialogue, you know, and you notice that in some of his movies. They don't need a lot of dialogue. There's so much happening. It's so interesting to follow. You really understand these characters, and they don't even have to say that much. And he's not for a lot of quick cuts. He's for nice long shots and interesting camera angles. And I do like his style, I have to say. It's he might not be the funniest guy, you know, but he does have a sense of humor. And the score of Ninth Gate is fantastic. I really like it. I mean, it's not extravagant, but it's very effective. It's very effective for what it does, and you can't underestimate the score of a movie, because whoever the director gets to score a film becomes pretty important, I think. And The Ninth Gate is just one of those ones that's very interesting to watch, and it's hard to look away. And I mean, it's not a thriller. I mean, it's kind of like a demonic, you know, adventure kind of thriller, but I mean, it's not you know, it's not a slasher gore kind of movie, but it's, I don't know, it's a cool film if you've never seen it. And Johnny Depp he's great. I mean, you can't help but not appreciate what Johnny Depp does at all. But yeah, that's one thing that I had come to realize, that directors are just I'm seeing it a lot more as I analyze films more closely now. But anyway, so yeah, I kind of screwed up yesterday with my own directorial whatever, what I'm doing here. And I guess I'm just starting to think about going to work tonight. You know, I'm gonna have to get some sleep here and get up and go to work, start my whole thing over again. And you know, maybe next weekend I'll be able to get more done. But anyway, got to do it just one day at a time. You know, so I'm trying to think of, like, did I find anything annoying today? Yeah, I did. You know what I'm seeing, and I don't want to just say annoying. All right, there's two parts to this. Okay, so one thing that's annoying is political campaigning. Okay, I see it. You see it a lot more this time of year. Well, on this particular year, and it's boy, oh boy, I just you know, all the ads, all the, you know, here's my resume, vote for me, you know, I'm the right person. You know, I just it absolutely kind of annoys me. And then to see what's not annoying, maybe bothersome, maybe troublesome, is the lengths that some people will go to defend their choice. You know, I think it's great that everybody has something they believe in, something that they find important, some priorities, and if they find them in a candidate, great. But you know, you don't have to argue your point with everyone else if they don't agree with you. You know, it's just, it's not what's the right word? I don't know, constructive. Maybe that's the word. There's nothing constructive about debating and arguing about something or against somebody else because of the things that you don't like, that you don't believe in. It is troubling because it exists. I mean, I see it almost every day where somebody is defending or pushing their religion or their political aspirations on other people, you know, and they're right. They just have to be right because, you know, that's what they believe. You know, and like I'm saying, I'm not coming down on anybody, and I respect everyone for what they believe, what they want to believe. And I just really am so troubled to see everybody fighting over it. It just looks like a giant pissing contest, and I'm sorry that it comes out that way, but that's what it looks like you're doing. You know, one person says something to somebody else, and they got to come back and defend this and that, and it just keeps going on and on and on. I mean, what's the point? What does it feel good? I mean, does it feel good to do that? I don't know. You know, and far be it for me to tell everybody who's right, who's wrong. You know, and if that's what you want to do, that's fine. It's something that it just troubles me, because one thing that I know, one thing that I've learned, and I think it's important, because this is what I believe, is that as long as there's been, we'll say, civilization, as long as we've tried to gather together and form some sort of society, coming together for for our own common good. You know, whether it's to help planting, to feed ourselves and to store that and to guard it. The thing, even going so far as our own DNA, what makes us up? You know, I mean, we're all made of the same material. You know, the same things as everything else that we see around the planet. But for some reason, we're the only species that is given this abstract thought, this ability for abstract thought. And we've developed these certain senses about how we should live and how we should act and behave, you know, and that's fine. I think it's great. I think it's very necessary. I think that's one thing that does make us human. But as much as all these rules we can put amongst ourselves benefit most people, some people are not going to agree. And I think it stems down to one thing that I really believe in, is that we're all different. We're all different. That's never going to change. I mean, we're not going to form into one race, one one set of DNA that's exactly alike. I just don't think that ever would happen. And as long as we are different, as long as there are differences between two people, there's always going to be tension. And as long as there's always tension, that is going to lead to stress. And stress is going to lead to violence. That's what happens. It's been proven for thousands and thousands of years. If you go back, there's examples of it in every form of writing since we've started recording history. That's a fact. And unfortunately, if we're not aware of that, we're going to end up in violence. And out of the history of civilization, there's only a couple hundred years where there's been no recorded war. So I think that probably should tell people something. You know, as a race, as a human being, we should just be aware of each other's differences and maybe try to understand each other. You know, I mean, even if you don't have respect for them, at least try to understand. Because understanding is, I think, going to help us. You know, if we don't, I think the chain reaction will happen. I think the differences will lead to the tension will lead to the stress will lead to the violence. And I don't really think there's any need for it. You know, I mean, it's just my thoughts. But anyway, I just thought I would share that with you because I've been seeing it a lot lately, and I hopefully that it ends soon. The political race, and maybe other things too. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm saying. I'm just kind of babbling like I normally do. But anyway, that's what I think, and I think I'm done talking for today. I think I should get some sleep. Gotta go to work, and then yeah, you understand, right? You don't even have to watch. You could have turned it off. Maybe you did. I'm gonna go to sleep, and I didn't hear from anybody about what they were doing if they watched a movie. If you did, how was it? Yeah? I'm going to sleep now. I'll see you later.